And so, yes, this is one of our free happiness hours to encourage self-care, non-pharmaceutical approaches to health and healing. And so honored to have you, Dr. Yoshino, with us. Now, Dr. Tetsuhiro Yoshino is coming to us courtesy of the American College of Physicians. You've been named a Global Physician Scholar. You are actually, although young, you are highly published and keenly interested in East-West or more allopathic traditional medicine. And so you had the Kampo medicine clinic and the Kampo program at Keio University, and which is actually one of Japan's foremost universities. And for example, Keio's founders is pictured on the 10,000 yen note. And so it is a very traditional school, and traditional Japanese herbal medicine is right there in the university hospital. And so in 2 weeks, we'll talk more about Kampo. But today, we're going to talk more about perspectives, things. But anyway, welcome.
Thank you.
Yokoso.
ありがとうございます。Thank you for having me
Yes.
to this great clinic. I'm so enjoying this 3 days.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's been great, and it's been fun, and it's exciting. And what the goal today is to actually empower our viewers now and on YouTube for insights from Japan, home of the longest living people in the world, healthiest people in the world, and I'd have to say, in living a life different than that of North America. Now, at age 42, actually, at age 41, actually, I arrived in Japan, and for what I thought was going to be 2 years, ended up being 6 years plus. And just because every day I was learning something completely new. Every day it was like a whole new experience. And where actually what I took to be common sense may not have been common and may not have been sense back in North America, but it absolutely fit in the Japanese context. And that's why I'm hoping to share things along the lines of the 5 fundamentals that we talk about here: breathing, eating, sleeping, moving, loving. That is, living a life of connection, meaning, and purpose. And there are Japanese approaches and understandings for each of these categories. And there's no particular order for these, but let's maybe talk about breathing. Because everyone knows how to breathe, or do we?
Right. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, of course, Japanese are breathing in the same way and with using the same organ with you guys. I mean, but still, we once we kind of tensed before the presentation or anywhere, anytime, we will have kind of specific breathing way, and it is named as Shinkoku in Japanese, and it is translated as maybe deep breathing. Yeah, and take a deep breath and take a deep breath is a great way to relax in some way, and it is also combined with closing your eyes and take a deep breath, and this is a great way to relax. And it is not only when you are tensed, but always you can do that. For example, before going on the bed, I mean, before go to sleep, you can do that and take a deep breath and close your eyes, relaxed, and yeah, make your body in comfortable form. Yeah, it is kind of mind-body action.
So built into Japanese thought is the importance of taking a deep breath.
Mhm.
Was that a part of what you learned growing up, either in your home or is it covered in school?
Of course, it is kind of not normal or not informal teaching, and but still, parents would teach to their kids, and once they get upset or they got mad in such situations, the parents would say, "Okay, take a deep breath and close your eyes and things like that."
So interesting, because one of the most unusual things I saw in Japan was kids that were so well behaved. I didn't see kids emotionally dysregulated. I saw them very regulated at all ages.
Mhm.
And so I'm wondering, yes, maybe from an early age,
Mhm.
this might be taught, a self-regulatory skill.
Mhm. Right.
And is there anything secret about a deep breath? Because we do deep breaths when we do our autonomic nervous system assessment here.
Mhm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is there a secret way to do deep breathing?
Mhm.
There is a secret.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, I think it's just easy way and just take a deep breath and but still I think that well, if you take a deep breath, of course, as the air is going into your chest,
Mhm.
but still we will imagine that as the air would go much deeper and go into the lower abdomen, and after keep them into whole abdomen, and then slowly uh, let them out from your mouth would be great way to go relaxed.
So the abdomen, hara,
Mm-hmm.
is incredibly important in
Mhm.
Japanese culture.
Right.
So breathing into your hara,
Mm-hmm. Kind of,
okay.
at least in imaginable
Yes.
way.
Well, so I'm hearing that it's not just deep breathing,
Mhm.
not just counting up and counting down, but it's visualizing
Mhm.
something that's very important.
Mhm.
And that brings one into a state of balance
Mhm.
or comfort or harmony
Right.
and self-regulatory.
Mhm.
And no pill.
No pill. Yes. No pill to
No
take a
pill.
breath.
No pill to take a breath. Oh,
Right.
oh. So, yeah, so most people grow up thinking that you don't need to learn how to breathe,
Mhm.
but that seems to be part of things. We mentioned about to Tokyo-ho,
Kokyu-ho.
Kokyu-ho,
Mhm.
or Meisoho.
Mhm.
Are those the particular approaches that might be of interest to folks here in North America?
Mhm. Yeah. So the term kokyu-ho is just mentioning how the way how you should take a breath, and meiso-ho is more mind-body action. I mean, meiso is a translation of a mind-body.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Kokyu-ho is only focusing on your breath. So you can open your eyes or you can close your eyes anyways, okay. And but you can just focusing on your breath and yeah, how it works.
Okay. So there's a whole word for this. And by, I'm sorry, I should have asked you ahead of time, but does the ho, is that like do, as in like judo or kendo? Is it the same kanji? The way of?
Mhm. Do is the way of, yes, and ho is the way.
The way.
So yeah, so ho and do has different kanji
Okay.
characters.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there is so kokyo ho,
Mhm.
there is a way of breathing.
Mhm. Right.
Now I feel like I'm completely breathing wrong right now.
Oh,
Like
really?
my body feels tense. I'm just kind of like we're on video. It's just kind and so I'm thinking, okay,
Mhm.
I'm doing everything everything wrong in terms of breathing. I mean, I'm still oxygenating, but I'm probably not breathing well.
Right. Yeah. So if you in such situations, yeah, just take a big deep breath from your nose. That would be great way. Yeah, take a deep breath from your nose and yeah, imagine the air is going to your deep abdomen and hold it for a while, like few seconds, and then let them out from your mouth, and it is not way, but
Oh,
yeah.
So I'm kind of puffing my lips and slowly breathing out
Yes.
with a little bit of resistance.
And then again, imagine the air would go back your abdomen or chest and go into your down abdomen, deep abdomen, and hold it and imagine the air is going from front side of your abdomen or chest and then go out from your mouth. That would be my way to take a deep breath.
Okay, cool. All right. Well,
Just imagine.
Okay. Well, I'm hearing that it's not just a breathing technique, but it's visualizing and it's engaging the body and in through the nose, slowly out through the mouth, and that's and Shinkoku is this deep breathing is probably taught from an early age. Because kids in Japan are very well self-regulated. So interesting. Well, before we move to talking about eating, are there other thoughts about breathing that from your experience? I don't imagine that breathing is maybe this is just built in the culture, and so people just know this. And that's the challenge with perspective. I should just mention, one of the things that's so surprising to me is one of my favorite professors said, Greg, if you only know one culture or one religion, you really know none at all. And that is talking about that perspective is so very important to gain insight for things. And so sometimes it's hard to see. But what I heard was nose, visualization, engagement of the abdomen, slowly breathing out, pursed lips, resistance, and that helps self-regulate.
Yeah, and knowing other culture or religion would be a great way to learn your own religion and culture. And actually, this is a coincidence, but I am now 41, and when you were in Japan, so I am now in your culture. So, yeah, so I'm now learning the US perspective.
Yes.
And this is so fun.
Yes, well, one of the easiest way of seeing U.S. perspective is eating, and I think that one of the things I found is that there's so many things about eating are so important in Japan. One is the important engagement of the senses. A great restaurant doesn't give you massive amounts of food, gives you beautifully prepared food in a beautiful setting and a beautiful plate, maybe with meaning around things, seasonal and other things. And but when the Japanese government came out and said, we don't want a pyramid, we don't want a plate. No. We just want 30 different ingredients per day. And what if you could talk about the 30 ingredients?
Yeah. Yes, right. This is actually formally taught in every elementary school, I think. And I am also learned, and we can find 30 ingredients in every day is written or visualized in every textbook for health in elementary school.
So from a very early age,
yes,
kids are getting a message.
Right.
Eat a wide variety of foods.
Right.
Oh.
So yeah, from meat. But if we think about meat, not not only like pork or beef, but we would count like several fishes is also count in the studies.
Okay.
So yeah, if you eat sardine and salmon, it counts two. I mean,
Okay.
it's not fish, one fish category. And yeah, you can eat variety of fish or vegetables or legumes or something like that. That would be a great way to a variety of minerals or vitamins and nutrients.
It seems so much easier than plates and pyramids, which we use here. If people say percentages, the percentage of that, it just kind of like, it seems so academic, just kind of goes over people's heads. And actually, sadly, the average American goes to a grocery store and buys the same 6 foods. And I could tell you the same 6 foods I ate every day through the end of high school. Three things for breakfast, 3 things for lunch, and a couple of different things for dinner. So everyone in Japan knows this really well.
Right. And as you said, usually Japanese dishes contains variety of foods or ingredients on one plate, but each one would be very small portion. And from this is my understanding, but each plate is expressing kind of nature, and nature contains variety of vegetables or animals, things like that. So usually one plate have to contain variety of plants and animals or things like that. Yeah, so it will make us to eat variety of food.
Wow. Well, you mentioned portions as well. Now, portion sizes in America tend to be large, larger than what I saw in Japan. Can you tell me about portion sizes and this notion about harahachibu?
Oh yeah. Yeah, so usually Japanese portion is very small, and usual one portion would be less than your fist.
Okay.
Yeah, and yeah. But this side meat is kind of great size in Japan.
Huge?
Huge, so huge.
Yes, I remember paying a small fortune for a steak this big, and it just kind of like it was like 1 inch by 1 inch, and it was delicious. And because it was a fortune, it took me like 20 minutes to eat it. Because every little nibble was so good, and that was a $10 nibble right there. So,
right. So every portion is very small, but yeah, in traditional Japanese restaurant, you can be served as like 10 dishes or 10 small dishes or small, very small bowls. And yeah, each portion has several ingredients. And if you eat slowly with smaller portion, that makes you feel full, even after after having a small volume of food. Yeah, and it is also important for us to chew well. Yeah, so this is also 30 number is appeared in this time, and every bite needs 30 bites. That sounds weird, but once we put one portion or one bite in our mouth, we have to chew 30 times every time.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, that does encourage slow eating. Now, a patient we saw earlier this week talked about eating really quickly and was complaining about getting full very easily.
Right.
And the approach would be kind of like, let's eat very slowly.
Right.
Yes.
So,
30.
Yeah.
Chew is something.
Right.
But related to that, could you translate harahachibu?
Yeah, so after chewing well, you don't have to be kind of physically full, but your emotion could be full. So it makes you full earlier, and hara hachibu. Direct translation is hara is abdomen, and hachibu is kind of 80%. So once your stomach get kind of 80% full, it's time to stop eating.
Okay.
Yeah, and it could be successful if you eat slowly and chew well.
Okay.
Yeah, so
it's not 80% up the esophagus. It's just-
right.
Okay, so what the surprising thing was, the 30 ingredients is taught from a very early age, right in school. It's in the textbooks, and that the actually, just like there's an approach to breathing for self-regulation, there's an approach to eating for self-regulation. Very, very countercultural here in America. So that takes us then to sleeping. You may have heard that, here in the US, trillions of dollars are spent, well, not trillions, but billions of dollars are spent on sleep aids to support our capacity to sleep and more. Because we say, oh, I'm tired, but I can't get to sleep, is a common complaint. What's a traditional approach to sleeping?
Yeah, as I said, kokyu-ho, or take a deep breath before going to sleep, is one way, and another way would be named as hayane hayaoki in Japanese, and hayane is go to bed earlier, and hayaoki means get up earlier, get up early. So yeah, so don't play with smartphone until 12 a.m. or something like that. Yeah, once sunset, and then just go to bed, and once sunrise, and then get up. This is kind of hayane hayaki way.
Well, this is so funny because when I looked up that hayane hayaki, hayaoki on all these things came up. There's Facebook groups, there's Pinterest groups, there's TikTok groups, all these groups around this topic of early to bed, early to rise.
Right.
All on smartphones. There's something around about that. But in American culture, from one of the founders of this country, Benjamin Franklin, talked about early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Great.
And so there is that tradition. But there's also a tradition now of people staying up till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. So I like this idea that there's kind of someone else has said, sounds like it's important.
Right.
Yes.
That should be universal. Yeah.
And
especially rather going to bed, but still, get up early is more important in at least Japanese education. Yeah, because you can control the time you get up, but actually it is very difficult for you to control when the time go to bed you can control, but go to sleep is difficult. The time to go to sleep is very difficult. Yeah, so once you set a timer, you have to follow the timer. And once you decide the get up time, you have to strictly follow the alarm and get up.
Well, that's so interesting because you were sharing about how getting to school, to grade school, you had to take a train. And if you miss that train, it was 2 hours to the next train. And so you would have to walk an hour to get to grade school.
Yep, as a punishment, maybe.
Well, and if they forces you to really get there on time because the trains run on time.
Right. Yeah, the Japanese train is very on time.
Yes.
Run on time. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and of course, hayane, it means get up early or on time makes you to eat breakfast and after that maybe go to bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes your clock set on time every day, and such a routine is very good for your, synthetic and sympathetic and autonomic regulation.
Yes, and your circadian rhythm too.
Right.
When people go blind, how do you get them back into a circadian rhythm when they can't perceive light?
Mhm.
Alarm to wake up, an alarm to eat, alarm to exercise, alarm to go to bed. Boom, 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 and that regularity.
Yeah. Such a routine is very important.
Yes. Oh, so actually, going back to kind of sleeping and eating,
Mhm.
are there any rules about eating breakfast, eating dinner, timing of meals in relationship to sleep?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so for breakfast, I believe it's okay to have a breakfast anytime, but of course, it would be just after waking up.
Okay.
Yeah, and in Japan, usually we try to have a big breakfast and a middle lunch and a smaller dinner.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a Japanese style. But of course, recently, many Japanese people are eating a big dinner. But still, we are taught that big breakfast and smaller dinner would be fine.
Ah,
Yeah.
and
And then the timing of the sleep and dinner.
yes.
Yeah. So we are also taught that have a dinner early and usually make 1 or 2 hours, at least 2 hours before go to bed.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Well, it does. It's sometimes difficult.
Oh, yes, right.
Sometimes people work really late and be be a challenge.
Mhm.
Which raises kind of the next topic, which is moving or exercise.
Mhm.
Is kind of Senobi is one concept there. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, that could be. Senobi, Senobi is 3 syllables, but 2 words. Se is your spine, and nobi is stretch.
Oh,
So Senobi is kind of cat-like stretch.
oh,
Yeah, so we have many shoulder stiffness patient, and once you lay around your keyboard for hours, and then we frequently use
oh,
this Senobi, and maybe this would be kind of Japanese style yoga. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
would be kind of like office yoga.
yeah, right.
Kind of
Very easy way.
desk yoga.
Desk yoga, right?
Yeah.
Chair yoga.
Okay. Well, Japanese are known for working long hours, commuting many hours.
Right.
What how do people get exercise or for example in a way that would be meaningful? And because obviously movement is important, and unfortunately I sit in a chair all day long, so I don't really move.
Yeah.
And
Right. So, as you mentioned, when I was in elementary school, the commute with using train or bus is very popular in Japan. And it is kind of difficult for us, at least living in urban site, it is kind of difficult to go to ride on our car from door to door. Tokyo is hugely dense city, and it's difficult to find a place to park. So almost every people in Tokyo is using train or bus. Then we have to walk from our house to the station, and maybe we have to stand around 30 minutes on the train, and then after that walk Shinjuku station or Tokyo station, and it takes like 5 to 10 minutes walk, and then ride on the next train and walk to the from station to workplace. That makes like 1 hour exercise for us
Oh, yes.
one way, and yeah, that that will be doubled in
Yes.
one day.
Yeah, so it's kind of amazing to think about. Tokyo is a city of 36 million people and about the size of the Twin City metro area. So about 10 times more concentrated, at least it seems. An awful lot of high rises and people have said that the average family in Tokyo may live in 400 square feet.
Mhm.
Yeah, and just kind of smaller expectations for things.
Yeah, and not only Tokyo, people in Tokyo, but I'm from a very rural farming area in Japan, and if we ride on our car, then we will go to our farm, and we have to, exercise to work on our rice farm or any style of farm. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I tell people often in the clinic. One of my big lessons from Japan
Mhm.
was going, back when I was I had this great title of expedition chief medical officer for National Geographic Blue Zones, the Okinawan portions. And so I remember visiting a woman who was actually heading out into the fields with she was and she was at least in her late 80s,
Mhm.
if not in her 90s. And she invited us to her home. We had to walk up the stairs because she lived on an island with lots of typhoons, so you
Mhm.
have to live above ground. And invite us in. It had a tatami mat floor, and so we sat down on the floor, no chairs,
Mhm.
intentionally. And she went and prepared um, a tea for us, and she brought it over in on a tray. Now this is a beautiful teapot and fragile teacups and boiling hot water with tea. And she's like 90 years old. And without even batting an eye, she slowly lowers herself to the floor, holding both things, and proceeded then to serve us tea. I was thinking, oh my God, I am half her age. I can't do that. But she had built into her life balance, strength, flexibility every day, getting up and off, getting upstairs, getting off the floor, going and gardening.
Mhm.
And I think she never went to a health club in her life. Her life was a health club.
Mhm.
And so your point on commuting also being a form of exercise is really interesting.
Mhm.
Really cool. Well, I know people are going to be asking questions, but one last section of the 5 fundamentals: breathing, eating, sleeping, moving. The last one, loving. That is living a life of connection,
Mhm.
meaning, purpose. What I think there's a Japanese term, ikigai, for
Mhm.
this. I wonder if you could talk about that.
Yeah, ikigai contains two portions of the meaning, and iki is rooted from ikiru and the life, and gai comes from kai, and kai is comes from the meaning. So ikigai is kind of directly translated into the meaning of life, and yeah, it is up to the each person, but still, yeah, that could be loving their partners or loving kids or yeah, sometimes, but maybe most of the most Japanese has most Japanese thinks that ikigai is work for them. Yeah.
So work is meaningful.
Oh, yeah.
And gives
Right.
meaning.
Right.
Whereas you're actually contributing to something.
Mhm.
That
Right.
is, everyone has a role to play.
Mhm.
I was so surprised to learn that there's no word for helpful in
Mhm.
Japanese.
Mhm.
It's more along lines of, you have enabled me to fulfill my role.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And so fulfilling role is very, very important.
Right.
And I saw roles as being very important, like husband, wife, Ichiro. Ichiro meaning firstborn son.
Right.
There's a role there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So usually first son have to be the next generation's leader. I
Okay.
mean, so once, yeah, you. So actually, I am not named as Ichiro, but I am kind of Ichiro role position, and I am first male in our ancestry, and not ancestry, my generation of my house, and yeah, I am always anticipated to be the big boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a role you had to fulfill.
Yes. Right.
As the eldest male.
Right. So it is also kind of a problem or this discussion topic in Japan, and is once somebody is retired from their work, then they lost their ikigai, lost their role. So then how should we support them to make their ikigai the meaning of life after retiring their job?
Oh, but it's so interesting. So if a surprise for me was the formal way of introducing myself in Japan would translate as, hello, I am Keio University's Plotnikoff. And so first was what organization I'm a member of, and second is what family do I come from? And that was identity. And so if I wasn't with an organization, who am I? That was first more than family. It was kind of like, oh, and in a country where there's mandatory retirement at 65, what happens then?
Yeah, so it is kind of it is discussed in Japan, and yeah, for many working age Japanese, working is ikigai or meaning of life, and weekend could also be kind of working. I mean, so many Japanese love to work even in the weekend because it is their meaning of life.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
So they are working for work, for for themselves, and resting time. Weekend is kind of their unstable time.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Unstable is such an interesting translation there, and just so very interesting because so meaning is found in fulfillment of role, but at the same time, it's just kind of connections are so very important, and there's all kinds of things which affirm one's connections and the use of language, what verb choices and etc. all reflect relationships. So relationships are very, very important. And it's very true here in the United States. Most dangerous years of a man's life, and it doesn't apply to women, but most dangerous years in a man's life are the year he is born and the year he retires. Because he retires just like, oh, who am I? All my life I've worked just kind of like, and I've lost my social network. It was kind of my office was a great community. It's a family. I love seeing these people every day. And yes, and so this is a topic that people struggled with here. And actually, a local author, Richard Leiter, has done a lot of work in this area about it's not retirement, it's refirement. It's getting charged up about something new. And
Good.
And